Hello, it's LaShawn from Rooted and Reckless. You want to see what a successful growth from a corm looks like? Well, not just one corm, but two? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to show you exactly that. All right. Here is my two corms that I grew from my Alocasia macrorrhiza. And not only are they doing extremely well, they have pushed out highly variegated leaves on not just one plant, but two. Now, this one pushed out one albino leaf, so I did cut that off. And I anticipate that it is going to continue to grow because I can already see another leaf already right inside of the petiole, if you will. And this one is growing its third leaf. So I'm excited to see how variegated that will be. I took it out of my greenhouse about a month ago and it has been acclimating to ambient humidity. And like I said, it has been doing extremely well. And so now it's time to take it to the next level. Let's transition it to its permanent substrate. And what is that, you might ask? It's going to be semi-hydro. Semi-hydro is absolutely perfect. One of the things that I've learned from growing my big, and I'll put a picture up here so you can see it, my big Alocasia macrorrhiza is that it doesn't like to be dry, it loves consistency, and semi-hydro checks both of those boxes. So what's better than to start it from semi-hydro from the beginning? So with that, let's do the first thing, which is take them out of the perlite. So the first things I'm going to do to loosen up all the perlite around the roots, because I have no idea how much roots is in here. The roots are white, I hope, and the perlite is white, and so you can't really tell. So I'm going to just put water in here, and as you can see, it loosens up the perlite significantly because the plants literally just fall over. And then I'll just kind of lightly pull off any kind of hanging or dangling perlite. And then I'm going to use this container. This is actually going to be the outside of the container that we're going to use. And I'm going to give it another nice little rinse to get any remaining perlite off. Here you go. And that actually looks really good. And then I have another one here just again to do a second little rinse to get any remaining perlite off. I'll just swirl it in there a little bit. And there we go. It's off. I'm going to lay that to the side. One down, one to go. And it is completely clear. So I'll put that to the side. So now we have our two clear self-watering pots with our clear inserts. What I love about these is that not only am I going to be able to monitor what's happening with the roots, I'm going to be able to monitor whether there is sufficient water in the reservoir. And these have aeration holes all the way around them, and that's going to allow the roots to get a good amount of air and aeration, which is obviously going to be very helpful to the overall plant health and growth of the plant. These came as a setup. They also came with pre-cut wicks, which is, again, another thing I like about this setup. So I'm really excited to use these 4-inch clear pots. Okay, so now that we've rinsed all of the perlite off of the roots, the next thing that we're going to do is put a base layer of pon. So I'm using Lechuza PON, but you could use any pon. Sometimes I make my own pon, but in this case, I'm going to be using Lechuza PON. So, no, scratch that. We're not doing that because if you know me, you know what I always forget, which is to put the wicks in. So let's do that before we do anything else. All right, there we go. So I'll move this over to the side because we won't be needing that perlite anymore. And then I am going to hold my wick up a little bit and I'm going to put a base layer in. Because the roots are so small and I don't want to bury the corm too deep, I'm going to put quite a bit of Lechuza PON in as the base. And then I'm going to put a little bit more just to cover that. And I'm putting more in this one because this is the one where I'm going to put in the one with the smaller root system. So once I have that in, I'm literally going to stick it on. And I'm going to take the remaining, I'm going to spread the roots around, which they've kind of self-done already. Make sure they're not clumped in the middle. Then I'm going to take my Lechuza and put it all around the sides to help stabilize this plant. And I'm just giving it a little bit. I'm not compacting it too much. I'm giving it a little bit of pressure just to help settle it in a little bit. No different than shaking it or patting it. But because it's such a small plant, I'm just going to use my finger to lightly, and that's going to give it the stability. And I'm going to put that right in here. So one down, one to go. Fasten. There we go. One down, one to go. All right. So here's our next one. I will do the same thing. And I'm going to stick this right in here. There we go. So both of these are now finished, completely converted to pond. A couple of final steps that I'm going to do for today. I am going to take these inner pots out, and I am going to run some water through it again, just to do a complete rinse and to also allow the pond to settle around the roots to help stabilize it. And then I'm going to put a very small amount of water just around the bottom. And that is going to help the plant, again, wick up a little bit, stay a little moist, but it's going to keep it dry enough, or I would say just moist enough to keep the roots searching. Once I start to see roots around the edge, then I will know that I can add a little bit more water to this plant because the roots are actually growing and they're going to absorb more water. Trust me, this plant is going to let me know in a major way if it's not getting a sufficient amount of water for the root system that it has, but I'm going to keep an eye on it as well. Lastly, I'm going to keep an eye on this little new growth that is also pushing out because I want to see how that does. I am not expecting significant transition shock because it's been in perlite. Perlite is a very similar substrate in that this plant has water roots. It's used to being quite moist, or the same level of moisture that it will be with pond and a wick. It's already acclimated to ambient humidity. It's been out of the greenhouse for about a month, maybe a little bit longer. And so I'm not expecting too much issues from the humidity standpoint. And so with that, stay tuned because I will definitely continue to give updates. And guess what? I'm thinking about gifting this one to a friend of mine. I think that she would take extremely good care of it. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know if I end up gifting this one. And I'll definitely continue to give you updates on the one or two that I may keep. So with that, if you're still watching, thank you, and stay rooted and stay reckless.